Super, you guys, it's time for another episode of Powerful Startup Stories. And I've just got such an awesome guest because why wouldn't she be? The whole point of this. So, Cara Bubolz is joining me today. And you guys, like, she's young, she's bright, she's driven and determined, and she's gone through quite a like removing of the stickiness journey to get to this point. And now that she's done that pre-work or even just surrendered to that being the journey, she's really in a place of being able to build some momentum. So I'm going to use a fitness analogy in this, where like she, had 100 pounds to lose and slowly, with consistency and discipline, built more and more momentum, built more muscle mass, and shedded that weight in order to get to the place that she is. And it's important for you to know this because you need to know that where you're at is part of your so-called 100-pound weight loss journey. Okay, so Kara's been kicking butt for the last 8, 9 months, serving as a full-time online business manager, which I certified in a few years ago too, and I really freaking love so much. It's such an amazing industry, and I always get super excited to meet others who are in it. She's doing that full-time, but on her way here, she went on a few exploratory places, including multi-level marketing, which is great because you learn so much in that. And then she has 4 kids, aged 5 and under, which is a handful of itself, is a lot to manage. And now working from home, serving full time as an online business manager, and in a place of like creating sustainable revenue on a regular basis, which is super awesome. So, Cara, welcome to the show. Add, edit as you see fit to that intro. I'm so excited to chat with you.
No, that was great. Thank you so much for having me. No, that was perfect. Exactly. Everything you said. It has been a journey to get here, and I'm excited to share a little bit of the insight on the journey to be here. And
Yeah.
hopefully just create peace and hope for anybody else who's, in the midst of their journey and trying to find that path to success.
So when you started, we'll say air quotes here, started this, would it be fair to say that your entry into the entrepreneurial world started a handful of years ago with multi-level marketing or whatever,
It did, yeah,
network marketing?
exactly.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. It actually was right after I had my daughter. I think a lot of new moms, especially stay-at-home moms, are like, I need something to do with my life. Like,
Hmm.
but I want to be able to stay home with my baby. And it was just that drive that was like, I was looking for anything. And the only thing I knew that I could get into was MLM. So I
Okay,
joined Beachbody. I think I did
okay,
Herbalife for a little while, a
okay.
bunch of different ones.
Yeah.
I saw some success, but I quickly realized that what I was doing with the MLM was not getting me to what I had exactly envisioned for me and my family. And so
Okay.
I took what I learned from it when it came to consistency, when it came to learning about how to talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I actually joined back into the 9 to 5 workforce. Tried doing that for a while. Again, was unhappy with trading my time for money and not being home to see my kid and still barely being able to pay for my gas to get to work after
Yeah.
childcare. It was
Yeah.
awful. So I jumped back into the entrepreneur world pretty quickly. And I opened a photography business actually. And yeah, oh my goodness. From there, I started really investing in my education when it came to the business side of things,
Hmm.
how to run a business
Hmm.
successfully and
Yeah.
just in a smart way
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
well. I also invested in a few courses just all about marketing. One course was just specifically about how to speak to people and how to talk to people in a way that is just really genuine and really authentic.
Hmm.
Um, so that was really insightful. Um, And then I ran into another roadblock with photography. I was working
Long
again.
hours,
Yeah,
editing photos, not being able to clock out, having
exactly.
to always get another client, book another event. Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot of logistics and time. And
It kind
again,
of was,
time trading, right? And the
yeah,
fee for service gets diluted as more hours trickle into the
yes.
sold package, right?
Yeah. It's kind of where people talk about they leave their 9 to 5 to become an entrepreneur and work 24/7. That's exactly what happened when I decided to leave my 9 to 5 and become a photographer. So that's kind of what led to my pivot once again into virtual assisting
Hmm.
slash OBM. Um,
Hmm.
I literally did the virtual assisting for 2 weeks before I was like,
What's
okay,
the
I
fit?
have so much more to offer. I have
Hmm.
invested so much into my education and my knowledge when it comes to business and marketing background. I ran a successful business. I just knew that I needed to pivot to get to where I wanted to go.
Hmm.
I got really clear on that vision. And so I quickly pivoted into the online business management role. And I've been doing that full time, like you said,
Hmm.
had mentioned earlier, for the last 8 to 9 months.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
it's been great. It's
So
been really
tell
great.
tell our audience if they don't know what exactly an online business manager is and the way that you serve in that capacity.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you think of it like a virtual assistant is your person that you hand off tasks to, and they're like your to-do list person,
Hmm.
super vital to any business. Obviously, we are one person trying to do numerous different roles, and a VA can really be a good asset to anyone's business. Where I come in is I am more of your right hand man.
Hmm.
So I'm doing more than just doing the task. I'm helping you come up with the strategy, helping you come up with the next steps in your business to actually design a business that can propel you into what your vision is for your success.
Yeah.
So I'm really like that secondhand COO person working right alongside you from start to finish.
So what's really interesting about this is that you were running your own businesses. You got activated, like something woke in you around the operation side of it, and
Yeah.
fast forward a little bit and landed into that. And so, I would describe the online business manager as like a decision-making partner in
Yeah.
a business. And having been in the MLM world myself, you're learning a lot of like outwardly sales skills, and the internet is selling us a lot of um, sort of recipes, magic recipes, and things to create overnight success. But there's a significant difference between having an idea and running a business. And so merging those two things is a great complement to the business owner who has the creative drive, and then to an online business manager who can support that creative drive with some structure and strategy. And so now share with me what that looked like for you from MLM to photography to VA. Were you building, becoming your own online business manager in a
Yeah.
sense as you progressed?
No, for sure. Especially in when I was in the photography industry, I hit this plateau in my business
Mm.
because it was no longer, again, I was still trading my time for money because obviously as a photographer, you get paid per session, per
Yeah.
hour for weddings, things like that. And it really came down to I was booking myself out full. I was
Hmm.
working endless hours, and it came down to where I was capped at my income, and I knew I
Hmm.
wanted more. And so I
Yeah.
actually pivoted into IPS, which is in-person sales. It's where you sell artwork along with your photography services.
Okay.
And so that kind of opened up my world into understanding that this is a legitimate business
Hmm.
and there are legitimate decisions that have to go into
Yeah.
this business in order to make it run successfully. So, when I entered that IPS world, that's when I really started learning the back end of businesses,
Hmm.
and understanding what it means to have the right legal stuff in place, to have an actual content strategy more than just posting your sessions
Yeah.
after you have them, what it means to have a good client experience and what it means to, be doing all those day-to-days, creating SOPs, tracking KPIs. just the importance of all that. And you're right. Through having that experience, it made me realize how much I love that piece of it. And that's why this OBM role has really become such a passion for me, is because I genuinely love being able to do that kind of stuff.
Well, and what it does is it brings some connection and order to the creativity. And so if a business owner, and I'm talking to you now, beautiful audience, if you or feeling unsure of what move to make, or that decision fatigue, or that pressure of carrying the weight of your business on your own, this is where partnering with somebody, and it's available at different scales. Like traditionally, online business managers will work with business owners at 6 figures and above, but there's access to that knowledge and expertise even before that point. And Cara built that into her system. And I'm a huge advocate for doing it from a blank canvas, like from the get-go, from the startup phase, so that you don't have to implement it later and undo a lot of the mess that can accumulate, and the disorder that can accumulate with that. So there's some strategizing around that, and it's really fun to bring the two sides of creativity and strategy together to bring something forward. So you mentioned that, an aha in the photography business of hitting a plateau and a revenue plateau and a linear exchange. And so if you're a business owner and you're coming to that, and you might have blinders on where you can't see what next move to make. And this is where working with somebody, even if it seems like it's too soon or scary, will bring in a fresh perspective and bring in a different line of expertise. And so Cara, at one point earlier on in your OBM business, you partnered with a mindset coach, a business coach, to help you reach that next level, right? So take us into that moment a little bit as a living example of putting these pieces together as a startup.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just like anybody else, I was investing in every marketing course,
Yeah.
social media content course, all these different business-based courses. And it came down to, I realized the one piece I was missing was the mindset. All of
Mm.
these courses touched on mindset. I'm sure the first week, the first module, I mean, they touch on it such a little piece, but your mindset is so vital to that success in your business and being able to break through those plateaus when you reach them, because you'll reach them at every level. And if you don't have the right mindset, you're going to have a lot tougher time working through that. So yeah, absolutely. I was hitting another plateau in my OBM business, and it really came down to my mindset. So working with that mindset coach made me realize, the reason why I was feeling that burnout, that overwhelm all over again, even though I finally felt like I figured it out, I was still hitting that burnout. It was because of my mindset. I didn't have the clarity I needed, to be able to make those next business decisions. I wasn't seeing the big picture.
Yeah.
I was focusing on the small things, like I think so many entrepreneurs, when they first start out, their big goal is to quit their 9 to 5, right?
Yeah. And
That's what they're
everything else
working
is
towards.
like,
Yes. And it's always like, I'm going to quit my 9 to 5 a year or two down the road, or, I'm going to just keep working my business and one day it's going to replace my 9 to 5 income. But the problem is they don't see the big picture.
yeah.
And if they saw the big picture and had that 100% clarity for themselves, they would see that quitting their 9 to 5 is just another action on their to-do list, that they just have to make the decisions beforehand and come up with an actionable plan to be able to quit their 9 to 5, and then they continue on with that action plan. But you have to have that all in place, and you have to have the mindset first in order to do that.
So when you're a business owner, we're holding so many different hats, and the internet can be a very noisy place trying to tell us which hat to wear at any given time. And this is an important distinction of sort of the quick, probably low cost, $500 and under cost courses that promise to solve a problem and launch you forward. But it's, I will compare it to like going to the gym and working a good 30-minute pump or cardio or, heart rate raising activity and then going home and eating a bucket of ice cream.
Yeah, it's exactly it.
Right? So you need a bigger plan and, like you said, a bigger vision to see all the different hats that you need to be, and then to be the leader of yourself in those hats.
Yeah, for sure. And I think like another good point of kind of what you just said is I view that mindset piece as obviously all these business courses, these marketing courses, they are successful. That's why they're courses. Someone
And
saw
wow.
success using that strategy, right?
Mhm, mhm,
But the problem is you're continuing to ultimately fail at seeing your own success with those courses is because that mindset piece is missing. And that's the piece that gives you the tools to be able to implement them into your business, implement those programs, implement those strategies into your business. That's why that mindset piece was such a pivotal moment for me. Is it wasn't that I didn't have the knowledge to run a successful business. It's
mhm,
that I didn't have the consistency, the discipline, the
mhm,
mindset piece of it to be able to implement that knowledge into my
mhm.
business.
So with the mindset coach that you chose, I want to take advantage of going a little bit behind the scenes in, you know, who did you, not necessarily who did you pick by name, unless you want to name them, but what
I
was
absolutely will.
what was finding them like, and what were you looking for, and what, you know, kind of solidified your confidence in picking somebody in a presumably multi-thousand-dollar investment.
Absolutely. I would say my best advice for picking your own mindset coach would be to interview a few of them, like
Mhm.
get to know a few different ones and find the one that you connect with. That's really what it came down to.
Yeah.
I had been talking and making connections with so many mindset coaches, but he was really the one that I resonated with the most, the one that I connected with the most, the one that I felt like on our first call knew exactly what I needed to see that
Mhm.
success. Like he nailed it on the head.
Yeah.
His name is Michael Getz, and I fully recommend him. He's been amazing. He doesn't run a program that's, generic or, takes people through the same program. It's very one-to-one and very customized to what you are dealing. And he just genuinely really cares about your success. I could say that
Mhm.
wholeheartedly. And absolutely, it was a larger investment, but one that I wouldn't be where I am today if I
Mhm.
didn't make that investment. I 1000% believe mindset is probably the number one investment you should make in your business.
Well, it helps thread everything together, and it
Yeah,
helps you see what you're not seeing, and then teaches you the skill of seeing what you're not seeing for yourself.
absolutely.
Right. And so when you're investing, you're not investing in Michael Getz, you're investing in Cara Bubolz and in your future and the sake of your family. Like she has this beautiful post, you guys, on her Instagram about her why, and it's her family. It's her 4 kids. And so she's doing all of this while being at home with children. So there's no excuses there. One cheesy movie line that I love is from the Red Door or something with Selma Hayek and The Rock and somebody else. And Selma's character says you can have results or excuses, but not both. And so when you're going to commit to an investment like that in yourself, then follow through with it. So you must have had a component of, opening up space in your life to take this journey with the mindset coach, 3, 6, 12 months, something like that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
still work with him today.
You still work with him today.
Yeah,
So it's not a
absolutely.
one
We
and
are still
done,
connected.
right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
I will say too, like investing in a mindset coach impacted more than just my business. I
of
mean,
course. Yeah.
obviously my kids are my entire world and it impacted my role as a mother. It impacted my role as a provider and my mindset around my responsibilities around the house and with the kids and things of that nature. It was an investment that impacted my life, not just my business, if that makes sense.
So, again, online we hear mindset, this, that, business. And I'm so glad you bring that up because when we really take time to work on ourselves, actually beyond our business, or one of my taglines as using your business as the playground for your soul development, right? It's just the training ground that then leads to other results. So if we go to the gym and use a weight machine, then at home that means that we can do a little bit extra gardening, like it increases our fitness. So it is a great benefit that lends itself to so much more, and it expands who you are and helps you be more you, which then means you can serve in more capacity, which then means you can raise the vision of your business that you, Cara, would have had 8 months ago upon discovering, the online business manager
Yeah.
industry, and now looking towards how much more you can create under that umbrella.
Yeah, for sure. And I think another, point to make with that is it's all about harmonizing that work and life work responsibilities. So I know people always talk about this work-life balance, and I'm one of those believers that it just does not exist. It's about finding a way to have it all work together,
Yeah.
because the vision you have for your life, I mean, it includes your personal life, it includes your work life.
Hmm.
Those two things will always coexist. So it's about harmonizing them together. And I think, again, mindset is what helped me do that and helped me find that.
So to put down some stress and attachment to the business defining who you are,
Yeah.
to then, not be addicted to the hustle and the adrenaline or dopamine hits of comments on a Facebook post or an email that went out or a sale, and acclimatizing to being an entrepreneur, that being a regular part of what comes through the various channels throughout the day while you're at the playground with your kids, being present with them while you're making supper, and not like I would, you know, just be hooked on, whoa, where's the business? How's it going?
Yep.
And then I lose presence in the beautiful moments, like my daughter's almost 5, all the beautiful moments that happen through all these fast development stages. And just settling in, like you said, this beautiful, beautiful harmonizing, which now I just, take us through what that looks like in your world. You've, especially with 4 little children, like that. I'm sure people are like, how does she do it? What does that mean? And by the way, guys, Cara is also taking an online course to, continue to add to her expertise portfolio as an online business manager.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things going on. So what does this harmonizing look like for you at home?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really come down to just being really disciplined and setting my boundaries. Also, like, developing the skill set to be able to be totally mindful in what it is that I'm doing in that moment, using time blocking and being
Mhm,
mindful that, okay, right now I'm working. Then
mhm,
the next hour, okay, right now I'm in school. The next hour,
mhm,
okay, now I'm homeschooling my kids.
mhm.
Now the next hour, now I'm in full mom mode. I want to enjoy this time with them and make memories with them. And I'm not sure. It's just like, I think I also, a big part of it is I'm able to work with my kids right next to me. I'm able to
Mm,
stop my work and be able to read a book to them. I'm
mhm,
able to, come in and out of it
mhm,
because I know exactly where I'm at.
mhm,
So I think it's just about being able to be super clear again on
mhm,
your
mhm,
vision and knowing
mhm.
what it is you're doing in your business. That's why like my business is full of SOPs.
Yeah.
If I stop halfway through an SOP, I know exactly where to pick it up and finish
Okay.
that task. So it's again about creating that skill set, creating those systems, creating, that consistency, that routine is what really how I make it all work
So the,
together.
it's an organized framework that lets you know what you've got going on
Yeah.
and when you have to do each of those things. So, it's a very, very visual description that you just gave of right now I'm working and this is my focus, and I can just surrender to what's in front of me. And
Yes.
now it's with the children and now it's with this. And when those responsibilities come up, so you guys, then she doesn't have to carry them all at once all the time. Oh, I gotta work on my business. I gotta feed the kids. I gotta do laundry. And I'm I'm relaxing into this. It's so funny. And I love it, the awareness, because I've been so tight and so constricted. And then even through my own personal journey, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like chilling out, I'm groovy. And then something comes up and I'm like, holy dude, like you are still so uptight and strung out. And now bringing in for me a lot of levity, a lot of play in that to relax. And, like none of us are Atlas. None of us are carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders. Not to discount that we're not going through strife or duress or different things in life, but that we can, through simplicity, achieve the things that we want to achieve in an easy way,
Yeah.
by taking care of ourselves first, right? And then again, like applying it to what's around us and practicing. So what's changed for you from when you started with Mindset Coach to now in terms of
I,
you?
yeah, I mean, I, like you just described it, I feel at peace. I feel 100% confident when I'm with my kids that that's my focus right there.
Yeah,
I feel 100% confident when I am doing my work and providing for my family that that's my focus right then and there.
yeah.
I just have been able to have this complete clarity. I've learned more about myself. I know exactly what it is that I need for me to be able to fill my cup back up. And that overflows into my business. It overflows
Mhm,
into motherhood. It overflows into everything.
mhm.
So for me, the mindset coaching and implementing that into my life, it really just gave me the clarity that I think everyone is searching for, especially through motherhood, through entrepreneurship, all the above.
Yeah, so through working a 9 to 5 job and feeling like time is in a place of scarcity, but we have to build these transitions. One example I love to use is like you don't go to the gym for 30 minutes and leave 20 pounds lighter. You have to go to the gym for 30 minutes, 30 days in a row, or like every other day, and
That big
build that.
vision.
Yeah, and the vision is what draws you towards that. So when
Exactly.
your vision was planted at the beginning with your first child, um, what did that look like to how much has it grown and what does it look like now?
Oh my goodness. I don't even know if I can put that into words. My vision back when my first child was born was so small compared to what it is now, just because I found such profound belief in myself now that yeah, it is tenfolded since then.
Right? And I want to, it's okay that, because it is a big concept, but it's important for the listeners to hear this evolution, because you might look the same as you did 5 years ago physically, but your internal self has evolved so much. And so, on your first day, you could walk around the block and now you can climb a mountain, and that you're capable of that. And I would say this confidence and clarity is the sense of embodiment and of full surrender to who you had an inkling that you wanted to be, and
Yeah.
then just figuring out how to bring that into a reality.
Yeah, I mean, I think, the best way I can describe it is based off revenue.
Mhm.
So back then, my number in my head was like, okay, if I bring in, 1 to 2 thousand a month, I can stay home. I'm paying for the groceries, I'm paying for this and bill
Mhm.
and that bill. And
Mhm.
that was my goal, right?
Mhm.
Where now it's like we went from 1 to 2 thousand to now I am looking at $20,000 to $30,000 months.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
that's my next goal that I want to hit. And that was not even imaginable when
Yeah.
I was just starting out. I was still very stuck in that 9 to 5 brain
Yep.
of, okay, I'm gonna go look for this 6-figure job, 100,000 a year. That's my big dream. And now my husband, he works a 6-figure job now, and it's just I'm dreaming way beyond that even.
Even beyond that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So when we're start, so what would current you tell previous version of you now knowing what you know,
Just hang in there.
right?
Yeah, just keep following the course and taking those actionable steps and continue to invest in yourself. You will get there.
An important thing that's coming out of your story is you don't know what you're capable of unless you keep trying and figuring it out
Absolutely.
and
Failure leads
taking,
to success.
yeah, right, fall forward into something.
Yeah.
Um, and growing that trust by repetition. So if anybody's feeling like they're lacking confidence, it just means that you need more practice,
Yeah,
right?
that is actually one of my biggest beliefs is confidence is either a good or bad reputation that you have with yourself and
Hmm.
your ability to be disciplined, your ability to be consistent. And I took that from my mindset coach.
Hmm.
But I think it is so true that you're not going to be confident if you haven't been consistent. You're not going to be confident if you haven't been clear on your goals. You aren't going to be confident if you haven't continued to prove to yourself that you are capable of this, that you are capable of getting through each and every failure.
So willing to go through the discomfort until you reach another grain of sand even of
Yeah.
confidence in your bucket. And if it's, a grain of sand at a time or a spoonful, or sometimes a dump truck comes in and contributes, like, probably signing your first OBM retainer client would have been like, boom, yeah,
Yes.
and anchors in. And so that adds to the confidence. And then, okay, how can I do this again and again and keep going, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, beautiful. So, in your own business, do you have a team now? Do you have any team members, like an assistant or marketing or anything?
Yes. So I have actually just recently transitioned to most of my team work is going into AI technology.
Okay.
Just because I've created such a good system within my business that I'm not having to do most of the work when it comes to, the tedious task, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's all about automation and
Mhm.
systems, SOPs. I will say that word all the time. They're vital. They're the
Standard
backbone to any.
standard operating procedures, right? It's the
Yes.
how-to manual. If you guys have been wondering, what's an SOP?
Ah, yes,
It's
yeah.
your how-to manual.
Yes. It can save you a lot of time just taking the time to make an SOP and actually implementing it. It can cut your workload literally in half.
Well, and the importance of that is when you hire somebody, you can hand them the step-by-step process that they need to do.
Exactly.
So you reduce training, you reduce, miscommunication, you reduce even having to supervise them, and it speeds up the onboarding process. Plus, it makes your business a much more welcoming and easy to navigate place for somebody who, could be in a different part of the world entirely.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when I bring in graphic designers to help me out with things.
Yeah.
It can it can be really stressful if you don't have a process in place. And so yeah, that SOP can be a lifesaver to, like you said, just hand that over and they know
Mhm.
exactly what they need to do to get the work back to you as quickly as possible. And yeah, there's a lot less of back and forth.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The other thing I wanted to ask was, so using AI technology, so it allows you to leverage yourself. Okay, so as a working mom, even working for yourself, you can create efficiency in the hats that you have to wear without necessarily having somebody working for you on a like a monthly retainer basis.
Yeah,
So this allows for that ability to have some growth without that linear time exchange,
yeah, absolutely.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, just finding those ways to cut down on your workload and going back to that vision and making smart choices, smart decisions, smart moves in your business. It's all
Hmm.
about strategy.
Hmm. Yeah, like a game of chess,
Yeah.
Or you guys are gonna like you're gonna stop listening to the show because I say it ad nauseum, but like training for the Olympics is a consistent and team supported journey, resource supported journey, and so Cara, looking back on the courses and things that you took, knowing what you know now, and we're not going to discount the value of them having been part of the journey, having, still being grains of sand in that bucket.
Yeah.
But do you think you could have still got here without as much shiny object?
I think if I would have started with mindset first, I could have saved myself a shitload of money
Yeah,
and a crap load of time
yeah,
to get to where I am today, for
yeah,
sure. I
yeah.
think I would have had a lot more, again, of that skill set to be able to implement the tools that were given to me, and not have to take so many different courses that were just preaching the same exact thing.
Well, and that were, these divided silos of
Yeah,
things
absolutely.
that we, you, me, others hadn't figured out how to really connect them in a meaningful way, as well as applying them in a custom way, because everybody's business is a little bit different. Sure, maybe we're an online coach or, an online therapist or energy reader or whatever, but everybody's programming is just a little bit different, and so we need to integrate it based on our own needs, our own visions, our own cognitive styles in order for them to really become effective.
Yeah,
It's not,
absolutely.
yeah, not like the Betty Crocker recipe on the back of the box, just add water, good to
Yeah,
go. Like there's a little bits of fine tuning that we need to implement. So
absolutely.
mindset from the get-go, it's never too soon. You were, it sounds like 1 to 3 years when you came to the OBM side, and at that point, really found a calling. I felt the same way at the beginning of my OBM journey. I was just like, this is where it's at. It's so fun. I'm,
Yeah.
such a planner structure type of person. I just love things to be linear. And so, I just want to pull out for those listening that when that I guess switch came on of this is what I want to do, that's when you matched that moment with a commitment and a discipline to really go all in on that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's when I realized that I needed to legitimize my business to make it go where I wanted it to go.
Mhm, mhm.
Absolutely.
And you're working in the full capacity, the robustness of what you now love, right? So some
Yeah,
retainer clients ongoing and having fun and creativity and that sort of
yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
And
yeah.
like you said, I love what I do. I feel more at peace with what I do because I enjoy it so much.
So that's again, like you saying that again, and let's pull out that the sense of peace comes from having the clarity and the confidence in the type of business that's going to work for you in your life. So if we're running around in our nervous system activated and kind of unsure, we're feeling unsettled, it's because we haven't come to that. And it's not going to come from, yet another online course or yet another book or retreat. It's going to come from sitting with yourself and actually taking things away that are distracting or overstimulating you to be able to see your inner system, your inner heart of what's there and what you want to be doing and harmonizing it into the lifestyle.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. So managing a household, managing 4 children, working an online business, give us an example of a day or a week in the life of and how that looks. Because we've got moms out here, got people with full-time jobs, variety of different listeners, and somebody who can organize and self-lead through that may have some wisdom to share.
Yeah, I would say my red, yellow, green time blocking technique is essential, and I plan that out the day before. I do it on a weekly scale and then a daily scale, and that's for all the pillars of my responsibilities, from the house chores to my business to my kids' needs. And that's more than just their physical needs, that's their emotional needs as well. Like, I need to spend time with my daughter one-on-one today. I need to, go for a walk today. That's also taking care of my own needs as well, as a mom. So I need to sit down and watch one TV show episode completely uninterrupted after the kids go to bed. I
Mhm,
need that today.
mhm,
It's really all about understanding the needs of each pillar of my responsibility, and I plan that out accordingly.
mhm. So then you can feel organized, you can see what's ahead of you, it's connected to the bigger picture of the week, the month, but you're taking it on in digestible bites that don't overwhelm or, get the nervous system hyperactivated and freaked out.
And by doing that way, I can honestly say that I am far more productive, far happier in every single area of my life. 100%.
Yeah, because you have like a lighthouse guiding you. And you guys, if you're not picking this up, it's building the habit and repetition, which creates the discipline. So you're automating your discipline,
Yeah.
right? And removing the decision fatigue and removing the um, like sort of the distraction of, where do I have to go? So a real tangible example for this through my journey has been tabs. Having tabs open in a browser or multiple browser windows with multiple tabs open. I have purged myself down habitually with discipline and pain at times to only
Mhm.
have a handful of tabs open at a time, focused or connected around the same project, and work on it for the block of time that's available and then move on to the next. And then that way it's not a bunch of spinning plates, and it wasn't that hard, and it increased productivity along the way because the nervous system calmed, that sense of peace came in, and then you can really merge with whatever you're creating or working on, and some beautiful things emerge as a result that, like moments with children, ideas for clients, aha strategies can come out from having that um, quiet, intentional presence.
That nervous system regulation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Beautiful. Is there anything else that you want to share, or insights that you have that you think would be, useful to somebody starting out and feeling uncertain and, maybe not so confident, or any pivotal moments through your journey that somebody needs to hear?
I think the biggest lessons that I've learned that if you're feeling burnt out, it's because you don't have clarity. And that means that you haven't done enough work on your mindset. And I'm telling you, that is the absolute foundation to your success. If you've taken the courses, you've invested in the coaches, the consultants, you have the knowledge, it's that you're missing the mindset piece. And I have two great referrals for you if you're looking for a mindset coach. It'd be Michael Getz or Veronica Schultz, which I can give you those
Yeah,
names
yeah.
to include, but they're both great. Michael is great for the mindset piece, all around business piece, and Veronica is great for nervous system regulation, for sure.
Yeah, like we're not living in caveman times anymore where we need to be running away from wild animals. Fires, yes, where I'm living up in Western Canada. Unfortunately, I don't want to dismiss that, but we live in a really blessed and abundant place, and so but our biological systems need some reminding. So have you brought any mindset trainings into your online business
Absolutely.
as well? Yeah, with your clients? Yeah.
Absolutely. I have brought it to my clients 1,000%. I think like what we were talking about earlier, that mindset coaching is not just something that you implement in your business. It really does change you in all aspects. It changes how I carry myself. It changes the way I think about things. So yeah, it just naturally comes out in my business and when I'm talking to people and interacting with people. Absolutely.
And I'd like to know as well as we wrap up, um, how and if, but I'm going to assume how it's changed who you choose to work with from an empowered place of knowing your worth, knowing your skills, knowing your fees and the value that's delivered in there, maybe from the early days. And, I'll take anybody. I just want to get this thing going versus I'm looking for good chemistry, because you guys, like an online business manager, you're really in it with the business owner and you want to have some good chemistry with them. And so,
Yeah, I
what
think yeah, no, I love that. I think what it has given me is the confidence to be patient and
Mm,
to really be able to take a step back and make those data driven, those smart decisions on how to bring that next lead in the door, how to
yeah,
sign that next client. just trusting that process, trusting the journey,
Yeah.
being able to have that confidence to do that. Absolutely. It has impacted my decision making, my ability to just, I'm going to say it again, feel at peace with knowing that my
Yeah.
next right
Yeah.
client is coming.
Yes, that's right. So this is the long game of being an entrepreneur is not being concerned with the ebbs and flows. Like
Yes.
when our kids were
Being
learning to
consistent.
well, right? Like our kids were learning to walk and one day they did 10 steps and the next day they did 2. We didn't sit there presumably going, "Oh my God, they're never going to learn to walk because they did 10 yesterday and they did 2. They're regressing." Like it builds over time. And so you want to be able to ride that out. And when you give yourself that um, knowing of who you do want to work with, a lot of beauty can come from that because you can build a long-term relationship, you can build a beautiful referral system, you can, um, develop yourself, practice your skill with them in more ways if there's a genuine connection. So this is operating without scarcity and in that true self-leading mindset
Yeah,
of what you will and won't accept in your business.
for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, beautiful. Holy smokes, we've covered a lot.
Yeah, we did.
Woo! Not pre-planned, ladies, not pre-planned. We just go with the flow. Super. If there's any closing remarks, I mean, I feel like we've kind of come to a great place to wrap up. If there's anything else that you want to leave our listeners with.
No, just we talked so long, I lost daylight.
I wondered what
My LED,
happened.
yeah, no, my light like
Uh,
continued to just get less and less. I
yeah,
was like,
yeah,
oh
yeah, yeah.
goodness.
Okay,
But
okay.
no, we
Well,
covered so many great things. It's been a great conversation.
yeah, yeah, wonderful. Well, thanks for joining me here today. I can't wait to publish this, and I'll be seeing you around online.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been great.
Awesome. Thanks, Cara.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.